Welcome, everybody, to the first Green Dragon's Lair, and hopefully we'll have an exciting event for you here and something that you can remember. What we have got for you is an opportunity for 8 interesting companies whose names have come up without really a lot of criteria. Next year we're going to think more about how we do this exactly, how we nominate presenters, but we do have 8 very interesting businesses, business opportunities, business ideas that are going to be presented to you in 3 minutes. We've given each of the presenters 3 minutes to wow us with their ideas, with their passion, and convince us that they've got an exciting and essential part of the green future. And we are going to, and they're going to be judged by our distinguished panel of judges that we have here, and they're going to be vying for the Brag and Dragon plaque. Okay? The idea is that the presenters will have a chance to make more people aware of their ideas. The panel are all journalists, and they're always hungry for a new story, and hopefully there may be a story or two in the group. No guarantees, but there may be. And also for everybody in this room, because we're all business people, or connected to business, or interested in business, are going to be opportunities for networking, for introducing people to other people, and maybe we can use this opportunity to enhance sustainable business in Manitoba. So, without further ado, I will introduce the panel. We've got a panel of very fortunate to have such a terrific panel of people. We've got from CBC TV, the CBC TV environmental reporter. You've seen him on the evening news and the national news in some cases, Mikhailo Pristupa. If you're interested in business and reading about business in Manitoba, you've probably read this next fellow from the Winnipeg Free Press, business reporter Martin Cash. And we've got who's associate publisher and editorial director of Farm Business Communications. Farm Business Communications publishes a number of very fine magazines for rural Manitoba, the prairies, and you may have heard of the Manitoba Cooperator, even if you're an urbanite like me. But fine publication, whether you're in the city or out of the city. John Morris. And for those radio listeners in the crowd, and all of us are at one time or another, the morning radio show host from CJOB, the always colorful Richard Cloutier. Okay, let's get started. Our first, I'm not going to do much for presentations. The presenters have to do their own thing, okay? But the first presenter is from Dollar Wise Quality Cleaners, Shane Johnston, and he is going to explain how his company is an unlikely sustainable business model.
Thank you, Kurt. Hello, Dragons. I'm Shane Johnston from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm the general manager and owner of Dollar Wise Quality Cleaners. 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with bowel cancer. I'd been working with Dollar Wise for probably 5 years previous to that. Was oblivious to the industry of how many carcinogens and phosphates and everything we were doing to the environment. When you get cancer, it makes you think. I spent 14 months in the hospital recovering, and at that time I was very bored, and when I started to get a little bit stronger, I was told that my cancer was probably from the dry cleaning solvents. I started doing research, and I was able to find out that all of our detergents were full of phosphates and carcinogens. The dry cleaning solvent perchloroethylene was killing us and killing our earth. The first thing I did was contacted a chemist, and he actually came to the hospital, and I started giving him the list of the stains that we were dealing with in the shirts. We do approximately 2,000 shirts a day just out of the Pembina plant. About 15 different formulations. He came back with a formula we called Zope. We didn't tell anyone, we just did it for our own. I did not want any of my staff to get cancer. And customers started noticing. They started commenting, saying they could tell. There was no scent in this, so it wasn't like they noticed a scent. It was just that they could tell there was a difference in what we were using. We ended up bottling it and started selling it, and it's taken off like crazy in Winnipeg. So it's a 100% environmentally friendly, and it's carcinogen-free. Once that took off, then I needed to deal with the perchloroethylene, which was our dry cleaning solvent, which every dry cleaner just about worldwide is using. It's quite sad. And I was able to find a product called Dry Solve, which is an N-propyl bromide. They're giving it environmentally friendly, it's non-carcinogenic, and it seemed to be the right solution. I ordered it, I tried it, and I found it better than PERC. I found it a better cleaning solution. It uses at a much lower temperature, so there's a lot less energy used. The drying times, what it does for the people's fabric was even better. And all of a sudden I was like, I have a product here that's actually safe, and it's better than what everyone else is using. Wow, this is going to be a quick 3 minutes. So from there, I liked this product so much, we flipped DollarWise over to completely green. I incorporated my staff to join me, and I said, I want the whole company green. So right off the bat, we always had a hanger recycling program. We had an environment garment program. We switched over to the Manitoba Hydro Power Smart program for our bulbs. We do paper recycling, all paper shredded and donated to the Winnipeg Humane Society for their kennels. Our invoices are all on recycled paper. We use no paper towel. Everything is cloth rags, and we just wash them. We converted our delivery vehicle to run on reused chicken grease from restaurants. Zero emissions, great for the environment. We're looking at converting our boilers now to do the exact same thing. And then, of course, we've always recycled and donated all used clothing to Winnipeg Big Brothers and Sisters. I am also the Canadian distributor. I've liked these products so much. Well, one that I designed, but I actually sold it to another company. I'm now the Canadian distributor for both products, and I go around Canada. That's why I'm leaving at 5 o'clock tonight to convert one of Canada's largest hotels over to Dry Solve. And hopefully I will be able to spread this word across Canada. Thank you.
What does it cost? Thank you very much. What does it cost you as opposed to a competitor that doesn't use this environmentally safe and secure way? What are the cost differences to do a shirt, for example?
Okay, so 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if you're an environmentally friendly cleaner, it usually meant they were using wet wash or hydrocarbon, and it was always more expensive. And the people that were environmentally responsible, they were willing to pay that. We did not have a price increase. I was able to offset the cost, because the Dry Solve is quite a bit more expensive than PERC, with the energy savings, my labor savings. My pressers don't have to do as much work, my energy's down, my gas costs are down, so that kind of offset it and allowed me.
So my cost then?
Your cost did not change. Mine did a bit, my bottom line changed a little bit, but I didn't want cancer.
Has your top line grown, Shane? Have you grown the business?
Yes, and actually people that had never dry cleaned before now, who just had the personification in their head that dry cleaning was bad, now all of a sudden are saying, hey, I can actually get this stuff done.
How clear is the science that the existing chemical products that are out there cause cancer? How do you know the existing products cause cancer?
They're all done in tests, and again, there's different organizations that do the tests. I'm using an American one, and there's one that's called Leaping Bunny, which makes sure that no animals are tested. And then I'm also using another Canadian one, Eco Green, that also does the tests. We do our own independent tests, and then we give them our results, and they then do the exact same test to make sure that our results are correct.
Do you own the technology in any way? Or are you just a distributor?
Well, the Zope I actually designed and owned it, and I sold it to the American company that has Dry Solve. And so now I'm their distributor for both Dry Solve and for Zope. So.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks very much, Shane.
Thank you. And thank you very much.
The next presenter is from Aboriginal Cogeneration. It's a biomass to green energy using microgasification technology, and to present his case is Kim Sigurdsson.
Afternoon, Dragons. I got a remarkable story here to tell you about 3 Aboriginal people that went out and found a solution for a green solution for a huge problem in the railway industry, and then end up helping out their own people along the way. My partner, Chief Bill Montour of Six Nations Grand River, largest reserve in Canada, and my bannock maker, my wife, and I got together and worked on a project that was basically given to us on a platter. It was the president of the Canadian Pacific Railway, former President Rob Ritchie, who told us that there was 25 million railway ties that were coming out of service every year. And they were having a hard time disposing of them. They were burying them, they were burning them, they were using them for landscaping. It wasn't a good thing. So we put our heads together, looked all over the place, and lo and behold, we found it in Grand Forks, North Dakota, at the Energy and Environmental Research Center. We went down there and developed a relationship with the research center, and they had a demo project that they were looking at, and they showed it to us, and we threw them a little money, and they built a gasification unit that was that could accept railway ties. And what we have over here on this side here is the picture of that gasifier. It is a downdraft gasifier. It's 100 times cleaner than downdraft gasifiers, or updraft, I should say. It's a gasifier that produces not only electricity but heat. It produces the ash that falls out the bottom of it is potash. The water that we use, the condensate that comes off this gasifier, we take the char from the bottom of that gasifier, put it into this container, and it works much the same as your water purification system at home. We also have the emissions that come off it in railway ties is less than natural gas. This gasification unit not only produces all these great and green things, it produces a really good bottom line. There's a really good business case to this. We presented to the railways, and we have subsequently got 2 contracts, one for 10 years from CPR in Western Canada and one for 10 years with CNR in Eastern Canada, and we intend to get more American ones. The gift that this thing brought us was not only the fact that we could do railway ties, but we could also do stuff in First Nations communities, our people. There's 130 communities in this country that depend on diesel for generating their electricity and their heat up north. We found a way of taking our gasification unit, letting them go out and do selective forestry, taking those wood chips and creating their own power without going and getting diesel brought up, creating a huge, or a lot smaller carbon footprint, and at the same time producing a tremendous amount of jobs for these people that need it so desperately. We've been very fortunate through this whole exercise. It's been great working with it. And we got a phone call about a year ago from MSNBC, and they have since put on a little 5-minute blurb on us nationally on MSNBC, and now Fox News has picked it up in the States. So we're starting to get a little more popular, and with that, hopefully people will come up with some more money that we need to carry this thing forward. Thank you.
Tim, how many plants do you have out there now? Like, what's the,
We
what's
have
the presence of the
We have
company out
right
there?
now, we're in the process of putting one up in British Columbia. We have an environmental permit, which was very hard to get. And we're putting it up in eastern British Columbia. We're building it. And we're also building one in Six Nations, Ontario. We have a demonstration unit in Grand Forks, North Dakota right now that anybody can go see. And that's where we are there.
Have you taken it to the next step, like beyond the heat production to the actual generation of electricity?
Oh yeah, the one in Grand Forks, North Dakota is producing electricity. It's commercially going. It produces, these gasifiers range from 3 kilowatts all the way to 1 meg. So if you could supply a small town with electricity with a 1 meg unit, a 3 or 4 kilowatt unit for, say, a commercial company downtown or in a light industrial park.
How long does it take for the unit to pay for itself?
It's a 3.5 to 4 year payback, simple payback, depending on what you're doing. If we were up north and you take the business case would be the $6 or $7 a gallon they're paying for their fuel. This thing pays off in about a year and a half. If we're working at railway ties, 3.5 to 4 years. Every business case is a little different, but it's got a dynamite business case. Good payback.
So for the remote communities where you could see these power units powering communities, how's that going to work? So people have to cut down trees around their community in order to power this unit?
They can go out and do selective forestry. What we're hoping they do is go out and get a lot of kill that's already down on the ground and then bring that in. The gasifier that we have can be, the syngas that comes out of it can be put right into the diesel, natural gas, or propane generator that's existing right now. Those things are worth $1 million a piece for 1 megawatt unit. That saves, the cost savings huge. But what the good thing is the people working, going out and gathering all this wood. They do it in Europe, they do it in Africa, and we're going to start doing it here in North America. People are going to start taking this woody biomass and using it to their advantage.
Are there urban uses for it as well? I noticed that when material comes to a dump, for example, there's wood byproduct, et cetera. Can you envision one of these at a major landfill?
Yes, we can envision that. We're taking it one step at a time. We've been approached by the city of Vancouver. They have a lot of trees that's fallen down. We've approached the city of Winnipeg at the Brady landfill. They're burying a lot of these trees. We could be producing a lot of green energy out of it, and it's just a slow process.
Do you have a patent on this, Kim?
No, but our people that designed this project in EERC in North Dakota have the patents, and we have exclusivity to them.
Thanks very much, Kim.
Thank you.
Our next presenter is from Global Wind Group. It's a micro wind generation company that is local and it's going global. And to tell us the story, it's Alex Stewart.
Great. Thank you very much, guys. Let me be the first to introduce you to the Zeus modular power system. It's our 1 kilowatt wind turbine. You can see it there, 6 foot by 6 foot. It's a vertical axis means that it spins perpendicular to the ground, so it's insensitive to turbulence, and it doesn't matter where the wind is going to be coming from. We've designed the unit as part of our development strategy, and this unit in specific has a very versatile placement. Our primary focus for the first go is the diesel offset, so both the First Nations communities that was just mentioned, but also in the telecommunications industry, where they're using a huge amount of diesel, and especially in developing countries, they're losing a lot of that diesel to theft. So we've got a very rugged and durable system here, and most importantly though, it generates a ton of torque. You can see it there. This was actually up at the university. When we were testing it, we had to keep tying it down because it kept breaking straps on us. And by the end of it, it was a lot like Gulliver and Lilliput. We just had straps all over this thing holding it down. So comparing us to the horizontal axis or propeller style turbines, they're both going to generate power. The pie graph on the right represents power. But what we're doing is we're generating that power with a lot of torque. So lower speed means that you're going to have a lower noise, you're going to have lower vibration, you're going to have lower maintenance than your traditional horizontal turbines. The initial upfront cost is going to be a little bit higher, but what we've done and why we've gone to the all-metal construction actually was an article by Michaela where we needed to actually bring down those installed costs. So we've gone to an all-metal, moved away from a composite material. So I'm going to touch on that torque, and that's going to be sort of the focus for the rest of it. You can see here what we envision and what we've got an awful lot of government funding for and we're looking for private equity for. We've actually coupled directly the vertical axis turbine to a pump. So now what we can do is we can pump water. We can pump water for agricultural uses. We can pump water for, let's say, reclaiming phosphorus from Lake Winnipeg. Not bad, there was a lot of discussion about that. We can also pump air, so we can compress air for industrial uses. There's an awful lot of electricity and money that gets spent on those compressed air things. But what's really exciting is that we can use this to desalinate water. And what we're going to do there is we're actually going to draw air. We can draw air out. We can create those vacuums. That's current industrial standard practice right now, is to use those vacuums. But what we can do is we can use a turbine to draw water, pull the air out, use another turbine to pump it up for storage if the unit needs any electricity. What we're going to do is we're going to bring water desalination to be affordable for billions of people. This is a game changer, and we believe that this is disruptive technology. So, in closing, I'd like to raise a glass and toast a future where every glass of water looks this good. Thank you very much.
Well, Alex, you're already past the energy generating. Now you're working on some other problems with the world. Where's the business at now? It sounds like a fantastic business. Why aren't there millions, of these turbines out there now?
Thank you. Vertical axis wind turbine technology is in existence. We were a distributor for a number of years, actually, of some other technology. What we're at right now is we've just left the prototype stage. We're actually pleased to be able to, we're going to be starting some pilots. I can't talk about those yet, but we've actually got commitments for about a half dozen pilot projects. So one's going out to Australia. We expect to have a couple pilots in and around this area as well. So right now we're just shifting, thank goodness, into that revenue generation stage of the business. We have also signed a deal with India where we're actually going to be partnering with them to manufacture these turbines in India for their market as well.
What was the problem with the straps and the torque? Explain that for me.
So what was happening was that because a horizontal axis, the whole idea is to generate, you need to get the magnet spinning. So horizontal axis turbines do that by spinning really quickly. What we do in a vertical axis is we generate a lot of torque so that push, because it's getting pushed by the wind rather than in an aerodynamic sort of airplane wing kind of style. So what was happening was that we tie it down with an 1.5 inch nylon strap and it'd snap it. So we thought it was a fluke and went down and strapped it down again. After the second one, we realized that this thing was just like Bam Bam, a little infant that we really didn't know how to control yet. So that was sort of that was our experience, at least with the high torque of the unit.
And you've overcome that now?
No, not at all. We use that torque. We harness that torque, and we actually use a gearing system to actually take that torque and that slow RPM, which is what we want, and gear that up to get that magnet spinning really, really quickly. So that's how we generate power on the electrical side, but we also can use that high torque for those other pumping applications as well, as I've mentioned.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Alex, what convinces you that the vertical technology is producing, more torque, more power than the horizontal?
What's convincing us is certainly the engineers and the calculations. We prototyped a number of these units. What we saw there is our final production model. So that's, and it's just a simple case, and to steal a line from the Dyson ball guy, is that we want to solve a problem that other people overlook. And our competitors in the vertical axis field have always tried to get faster and faster and faster. And we've said, fast isn't the issue. What we want to do is we can still generate power, but we can do it in a more slow, controlled fashion where we can actually extend the life of the turbine, less vibration, less bearing, all that sort of thing. So, and it's just simply, we can't compete with a propeller-style turbine in perfect wind conditions. St. Leon, we're not going to go that big because they've got perfect wind conditions. The design is just a more aerodynamic design. What we do is we're harnessing that push, that cup, and that drag type of, that's the style of turbine that we do. So. Thank you, Dragons. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks very much. Our next presenter is representing Blue Flame Stoker, which is a local manufacturer of biomass boilers, Eugene Gala.
Thank you very much. We are biomass experts, and I'm here to present to you three biomass technologies. There will be Blue Flame Stoker, which is biomass combustion system, Prairie Bioenergy, which is biomass fuel producer, and Simply Straw, with taking a field residue straw and converting to higher biomass value-added product. Blue Flame Stoker is the most flexible biomass combustion system. We can burn a number of different biomass, which we're burning right now: wood pellets, wood shavings, straw, flax chive, and other, agri residues and biomass, other value-added products. We have 26 installations in Manitoba presently in use. We have 110 installations in North America. And in 2009, we offset 30,000 tons of CO2 emissions in Manitoba alone. Prairie Bioenergy is biomass fuel producer, and there is a potential to displace 250 tons of CO2 emissions in Manitoba alone. How we can accomplish this? By displacing 100,000 tons of coal that is being presently combusted in Manitoba alone, and this is just coming from small and medium-sized users, that not including Manitoba Hydro. How we can accomplish this is with biomass fuel that we can burn in the Blue Flame Stokers, and the fuel contains 7,500 BTU per pound versus 7,000 BTU for coal, lignite coal. And just to give you an idea, each coal, the lignite coal, each ton of coal produces 2.5 tons of CO2 emissions approximately. Simply Straw is a product that we've been working and developing for the last couple of years. And one of the study that was done, by prairie practitioners estimated that there's approximately about 300,000 tons of straw that's being burned in the fields right now. And there's probably at least another couple million tons available of straw product. So we focus how we can add the value to this product. So we came up with, and we patented the technology that turns the product into soil enhancement and liquid absorbent products. In other words, we want to turn straw into gold, what we call it nature's gold commodity. In a summary, we developed the best biomass combustion system. We developed biomass fuel to replace coal and other fossil fuels as well. We developed biomass liquid absorbent. We developed green, environmentally friendly, sustainable solutions. And we are biomass experts. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, are these units producing hot water or steam or gas like the earlier one? And do you have these, what kind of examples do you have them connected to?
We have combination of everything that what you mentioned. We have a hot water generation for heating. We have a steam generation for heating and process. And we have a hot gas for drying processes. We have installation in ethanol plant in Saskatchewan right now. We're using this actually to produce steam for their process, and we're using the hot gas to dry the DDGs, distillers grain.
Who are your customers, Eugene? Who are you selling the combustion units to?
We started off with the hydride colonies, okay? We're now into schools, greenhouses, the ethanol plants, so pretty much schools, greenhouses, ethanol plants, and hog operators, like agriculture operators, yeah.
On the straw side, do you envision paying for the straw product or people paying you to dispose of it as opposed to how it's disposed of now? How do you envision the economics of that?
The economics here, we set a value for the approximately between $40 to $45 per ton delivered to our plant.
On the biomass idea for power, you say that the biomass could replace coal for power. Who still uses coal in Manitoba for power?
100,000 tons of coal is just being burned actually by hog producers, chicken producers, things like that. So there are small systems that are being used across Manitoba. Lots of them, actually. I've done the study. I have the numbers.
And given, I guess, the legislation to eliminate coal in Manitoba, this is an excellent opportunity.
That's correct. The changes that we're making slowly, people actually are willing, finally listen, after so many years. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much, Eugene. Our next I'm liking the one question or so approach that we're taking, but I like the questions and I like the answers. This is good. I like it. Our next presenter, on behalf of Solonil Biodegradables, a local company out of Carberry, we have an idea for turning, not just an idea, but a reality for turning plastic from waste potato starch into usable products. And to tell the story, Mavis McRae.
Thank you. Every day, our choices make an impact on the world around us. The purchases that we make today could last for 500 years or more. And that's what happens when we purchase plastic products. We live in a world that's full of plastics. Toys, toothbrushes, electronics, packaging, pill bottles, everything, hundreds of plastic items, many of them disposable, make their way into our lives and eventually into our landfills. And unfortunately, a lot of these plastics end up in our rivers, oceans, and forests. Plastic has its purpose in this world, but not everything needs to be built to last for 500 years. Each year, 560 billion pounds of petroleum-based plastics are produced globally. But there is an alternative to this. Solenoil biopolymers is a plastic-like resin made from potato starch that's been reclaimed from the food processing industry. This compostable material will change back into soil when it's exposed to heat, moisture, and soil microbes. We sell the Solenoil resins to be converted into things like office supplies or Frisbees. And they're converted by using injection molding, extrusion, or thermoforming equipment. Solenoil is bio-based or biodegradable, but it looks and feels like plastic. And under dry conditions, these plastics can last for several years, but as soon as they're exposed to composting conditions, they start to break down. And at least if our Solenoil products end up in the environment, it doesn't last forever there. Businesses and consumers are looking for green products. The global bioplastics industry is expected to grow by 17% to 1.2 billion pounds. But that's only a fraction of the 117 billion pounds of resins used every year in North America. Not every plastic can be replaced by bioplastics, but we're certainly a long way from exhausting the potential. Solenoil resins are slightly more expensive than traditional plastics, so market acceptance, finding the right application is key to market acceptance. Bioplastics can save labor. For example, the tree wrap, you no longer have to go out and collect the wrap after the tree has grown out of its shape. Or if the bioplastic is a fraction of the total cost of the products, like our Nema globes that are sold in Canadian Tire. So Solenoil Biopolymers is offering a step towards lessening our daily impact while still providing customers with new and innovative materials to make products for us. What would you make with it?
I got a question.
There's nothing added to this Frisbee at all?
Well, it's starch-based, but there is a proprietary formula that we've licensed from Europe. So it's not pure starch. Otherwise, it would just,
Yeah.
yeah.
What would be the percentage?
Well, it's over 30%.
So, these bioplastics seem like an incredible idea, very sustainable, but are they toxic in any way?
No. We get it tested through European standards, and through that testing, the breakdown materials are put through the composting tests, which test for toxic metals, whether or not it has an effect on the growing conditions of plants. So no, no. Simple answer, sorry, no.
Mavis, let me
Yes.
ask you, are you selling the resins or are you?
We're selling the resins. So
okay.
we then sell to the converters that create the whatever plastic name insert type of product.
And you're accessing the resins from potato processing industry?
Right now, we have a starch collection plant set up in Carberry. We're currently building the market for the resins, and once it's not a build it and they will come, we're going to make sure they come first before we build it.
I like the fact that you brought us stuff.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Next presenter, a different approach to plastic. We've got Liquid Depot, retail bulk liquid dispensing, where people can reuse their plastic containers. And to present the story, Colleen Vandersteen.
That's interesting, two women talking about plastic. Hi Dragons, my name is Colleen Vandersteen, founder of Liquid Depot. Liquid Depot is in the developing and discovery stage. And I'm going to start. Liquid Depot, there are going to be 4 points that I'd like to bring up in my little 3 minutes. And Liquid Depot is retail bulk liquid dispensing to allow the public to reuse their plastic containers. It is a revolutionary change to product distribution. The target market is the eco and money-conscious consumer who are very concerned for the next generation. As you can see, there are 5 categories. We are initially starting with the cleaning supplies, and as suppliers come on board, we will increase the scope of the products we offer. I do want to point out that plastic containers give products a much longer shelf life compared to any other form of packaging. Therefore, we still want the plastic containers, and we don't want to throw them away. Convenience, cost, and environmental savings are key factors to introducing a new revolutionary change to the grocery purchasing process. We will advertise 2 months prior to opening to prepare the public to save their containers. Liquid Depot is a solution to help save the environment. As you can see, the impact that plastic is currently creating will be in the next slides, thanks to Mavis's pictures as well. North America is producing 750 tons of plastic container garbage daily, as you can see. In my research, I have found that only Montreal, Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver, Edmonton, and Yellowknife have programs that recycle some of the plastic containers. The plastics that don't end up in the landfill end up in our oceans. And you might have heard about the Pacific garbage patch that is basically all plastic and is twice the size of Texas. Plastic containers take hundreds of years to decompose. We are going to be open 24/7 so the public can come recycle and refill their plastic containers whenever it is convenient. As you know, if people can save money and it's convenient, they're going to use it. As a concerned parent and an experienced shopper, I believe I have brought all the elements to the market that I have wanted to see in the last 10 years. If you think this is a great idea, Liquid Depot is in the Pepsi Refresh contest. Please vote for Liquid Depot in the $100,000 category so we can get started. I have been working very hard with the University of Manitoba, and we've developed an eco-friendly VAT system to bring this product to the market.
So I'm bringing my containers back and putting,
Refilling them
with brand items. And so have you approached the manufacturers of these brand items about contracts, et cetera?
Yes, I have.
And what have they said?
And they are interested as well in this type of product distribution. Of course, it saves the carbon footprint.
Why would they include you in this? Like, if there was a real market, what do you bring to the table other than the idea? Why would they do business with you? When if there is a real business, if there's a market for this, why wouldn't they just set up their own depots? Very much like in the grocery store where I can bring my big water bottle back and fill that up. Why do they have to do business with you?
Well, first of all, the idea was mine, so there is
Do you have propriety rights?
Yes.
You've got that?
Trademark and intellectual property, patenting. Why would they want to deal with me? They would like to see it operational, first of all, and then we will look at coming with and possibly changing the actual major corporations.
Which kind of product do you imagine starting out with, Colleen?
So we would be starting with the cleaning supplies and slowly going into the skin and hygiene, and then eventually into cooking oils and automotive, windshield washer, and eventually into miscellaneous products.
Do you imagine all of those kinds of products happening at the same depot?
Yes, I do. There's your convenience there as well.
Colleen, how do you go from a society that throws away most of its containers to one where we're refilling our containers now?
I believe that the public is very eco-conscious and definitely money-conscious, and reducing the packaging costs certainly will bring the two factors together as a win-win, I believe, for everyone.
Thanks, Colleen.
Thank you.
Our next presenter is going to speak on behalf of HD Petroleum. And HD Petroleum is a company that refines waste hydrocarbons into reclaimed energy. And to tell us that story, Todd Habeck. Todd Habeck.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Growing up, my name was Hey Bitch, because that's the way my name is spelled, so you're welcome to use that one if you want. Anyhow, thank you very much for the opportunity to present today to this distinguished panel of media experts, and also to the organizers of the Intercan event. Events like this are greatly appreciated and very much needed. And if I could just take a moment out of my precious 3 minutes here today to take a moment to applaud all of the co-presenters today. Working in the green space and being able to present today the vision that each one of my co-presenters have is something that really should be applauded. So if we could just take a moment and recognize everyone. Thank you. It's also very evident by this event today and the presentation and just the quality of what is being brought to us today that the green opportunity is in, and the innovation is very much alive in Manitoba, and that is something that we as Manitobans should be very proud of, that we have that. And now if we could just get our football game to win a few more games, that would our football team to win a few more games, that would help out. So today I'd like to talk to you and introduce you, again, some of you may have seen HD Petroleum at this event last year, but I'd like to present some of the growth that we've had in the last year, and something that I've learned, and even today, it's been a lot of discussion has been talked about the CO2s, the GHGs, and the carbon credits, and I'd like to introduce to you to something I've sort of come up with called Double Leap Green, and it's just a way of quantifying how green a project is for the average citizen. Many experts can get up and they can talk about how many gigatons of per carbon sonometer that you need to be able to create a GHG gas, and to the average citizen, we really don't know what that quantifies. And so I've come up with a Double Leap Green. It's a very simple way of taking a look at a project and realizing, is it a single leap or is it a double leap? Is it something that is really can be quantified? And so the HD Petroleum, when I first took a look at the challenge of waste petroleum and dealing with it, something that became very evident to me is anytime we're dealing with wanting to take a leap forward, we first have to make certain that we're not moving backwards. So first, stop the harm. If we can stop harming our environment with hazardous waste materials, and we've heard many presentations on that today, then we can begin to move forward. Until we stop the harm, that is our best way of beginning to move forward. Then if we can look at a product that will help us to leap ahead, we now have a Double Leap Green project, something that stops harm, takes that harmful material, and moves ahead into a beneficial product. So HD Petroleum, this Manitoba-made environmentally waste management refinery facility is a project that takes waste liquid petroleum products and converts them into a reclaimed energy, diesel fuel, something that is very readily available. So not only do we provide the province of Manitoba a solution for all of its liquid waste petroleum in a green, environmentally friendly way that it currently does not have. Currently we export our environmental waste outside of Manitoba for the most part. There just is no way of dealing with it. And so we stop that. We stop the potential pollution. We stop the potential of hazardous spills into our pristine rivers and lakes. And we now have a way of taking that, cleaning it, and turning it into a reclaimed source of energy. The concept of a Double Leap Green fits. We're taking the liquid waste and we're now stopping it from being consumed in a hazardous way, and we're turning it into something that can be used. In my research, we found that this waste oil problem really is one that knows no borders. It's a global issue. It really is a global problem. Anywhere where there's a population base using automobiles, you have liquid waste petroleum, as well as a need for the refined product to power those vehicles. So it really becomes a finite loop. And we envisioned that we had a need globally But it really wasn't until the Centralia event that some of the presenters here also were involved with, and it was just an event that provided a great leap forward and solidified the global demand for this business opportunity. So we're very excited today to be able to say that HD Petroleum has started to reach out globally, and we have a terrific amount of interest in job creation, solving liquid waste problems, and creating new sources of energy to power the world, and we're very excited about that. So thank you very much, presenters, for listening and paying attention and potentially asking questions. And I'd just like to mention that we'll be providing free samples in the parking lot, for your car.
Do you need a regulation that all waste products need to go somewhere? Do you need provincial governments to introduce regulations that thou shall dispose of their waste product in this way?
Certainly, Richard. Thanks for the question. It's something that I found in developed countries. There is regulation, although oftentimes it's a regulation for handling and very little regulation on how it is actually processed in the end. In undeveloped countries, there is no regulation, but there is also a real upside value to being able to assign value to that product that is truly a waste. And now you create job creation in collecting and distributing and bringing that product to one single point where it can be refined.
Not sure if you answered my question.
Okay.
Do you need the regulation for this business to be viable?
No.
Do you have an operating collection and refining system going in Manitoba now?
In Manitoba, there's many companies that are involved in the collection business. Some of them are represented here today. That's an existing infrastructure that's established very well. And we have a fully functioning pilot project refinery that has been in operation. Today, we're going through a couple of design changes to bring it online, and we should have those in January, February, complete of next year.
Do the economics work, Todd? I'm not sure how costly it is to produce the plants relative to the kind of revenue you could generate. But this is an issue, a problem that exists around the world and has for a long time. I guess I'm wondering, the technology that you have, is it viable and kind of competitive with whatever other technologies might be out there?
Absolutely. First off, I guess the easy answer is the petroleum industry globally seems to make money. They do quite well. And so there is definitely a room for profitability. From a business standpoint, the HD Petroleum refinery is profitable without subsidies. It can take a raw material, a waste, and turn it into a profitable product without any subsidy. And really, Manitoba is one of the highest cost markets in the world for the waste material, as well as one of the lowest costs for our finished product, and the business model works here. So there's places in undeveloped countries and in island nations that the profit model becomes very viable.
Todd, can you give us a couple quick examples of where you would get this source waste? Like, what are some examples of waste petroleum liquids?
Okay, the easiest one is just motor oil. That makes up the largest percentage of the liquid waste petroleum products. There is industrial lube stocks, and there is some other petroleum products that are used in cooling, industrial cooling, that are used as well, that become a waste product once their life cycle is used up. But primarily motor oil.
Very good. Thanks very much, Todd.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our last presenter, speaking on behalf of iRecycle Inc., and not just ink, they recycle more than just ink, but it's iRecycle Incorporated, and their goal is to put an end to landfills forever. And to tell us the story, Jack Mandel.
Thank you. Hi, Dragons, ladies and gentlemen. 3 minutes isn't nearly long enough to say what I have to say, but we'll see how far we get. My name is Jack Mandel, and I'm from iRecycle, and we are here to tell you about our company. iRecycle is a promoter and distributor of both recycled products and ingredients for making recycled products. We were started in 2009, and we have 2 locations, one in Morris and one in Winnipeg. Our vision is to reduce the amount of garbage going to landfills by diverting them over to recycling facilities, have it recycled, and hopefully eventually to completely eliminate landfills. We are currently in the process of building a network of dealers across Canada to make our products more readily available to Canadians. Here are a number of companies and recyclers that we're currently working with, and I want to tell you a few, or show you a few examples of some of the products that we're working with. One of them, a Winnipeg company called RTR, and they are responsible for collecting and recycling all our tires here in the province, about 1.3 million worth, and turning them into amazing products. A few of them, or a few examples, would be rubber mulch and floor mats, splash pads, and stepping stones. Another amazing company right here in Winnipeg called X-Potential, one of Winnipeg's best kept secrets, that when cars are recycled, all the metal has been taken out. What is left is the dashboards and seats and the fluff. They take that waste and they mix it with recycled plastics from our recycling facility here, and they turn it into amazing products like landscaping ties and parking curbs. You've probably seen some of these products around. You didn't know where they're from, but they are right here from Winnipeg, and we're very proud of them. One more, or a couple more. Nature's Composites, a very neat company, taking waste plastics and wheat straw and turning them into amazing decking material and fencing. Some customers here in the city have already purchased these products. They come in 6 different colors with a 20-year warranty, and just a truly amazing product. Can be used for many different uses. One customer even is making furniture out of them, including picnic tables and pagodas. And finally, one more company, a company called Simtech Fence, which also uses recycled milk jugs and makes just amazing fence products that come with a lifetime warranty. So again, just to sum up, iRecycle, we are a promoter and distributor of recycled products. We support current and future recyclers, and we help new recyclers get started, and we help reduce and hopefully completely eliminate landfills. Now, if you want to help, one of the things you can do is contact iRecycle and buy a recycled product today. And if you do that, you will be giving validity to every recycler that's out there, and they need your support. You can contact us by going on our website, irecycleinc.ca, or the phone number, which is also available on the website. Thank you.
Go ahead. So tell us what kind of success you've had in marketing these recycled products.
We've had some success. As you saw, some pictures of customers who have installed these products. The trick is getting the word out. Every recycler is left on his own to market these products, and it's time somebody helped them, and that's what we do. Is we go and we help all recyclers. We are a one-stop shop for recycled products.
You're not collecting material. Is that right, Jeff?
We are not a recycler. We are an advocate on behalf of recyclers.
Tell us, just maybe tell us a little bit about the kinds of material that you have excellent markets for, or that you believe to have real great potential for. You showed us some of your customers who are using some of this stuff, but I'm wondering if that's just a small piece of what you believe is might be out there.
Well, you saw the pictures of landfills. There were a lot of pictures here, and all of that needs to be recycled. There's a market for everything. Metal seems to have found a good way of recycling because there's not that much metal ending up in the landfills. But the plastics, papers, fiberglass, glass, a lot of us know that glass, all our glass ends up in the Brady landfill simply because we think there is no market for it. We know better. There is more than a market. There's a market for more glass than we actually produce.
And you showed a map of depots across the country, or in fact, do you have? Are you doing business across the country now, or is that happening?
Well, I also showed you that we have 2 locations now, one in Morris, one in Winnipeg, and we are in talks with dealers setting them up.
Thanks very much, Jack.
Thank you.
So at this point, this is where the panel is going to retire for a few minutes and deliberate and decide on who will be the winner of our Brag and Dragon plaque for the first ever Manitoba Green Dragon's Lair. I'll have to say that I was eavesdropping on the process that was occurring in the corner of the room as these gentlemen were forced to undertake the really difficult task of deciding a winner out of the group of really fine presenters that we had for you all here today. And when our committee was came up with this idea about what we were going to do instead of just having the regular wine and cheese as the finale for our conference, we came up with this idea of having this Green Dragon's Lair, and we were thinking of ways to showcase innovative Manitoba companies. And when we first came up with that idea, I was kind of going, innovative Manitoba companies? It's like, jeepers, I hope we find more than two, kind of thing. But in fact, we got to the point where we've got this wonderful group of companies that we had here tonight, and unfortunately some that we had to turn away. I'm really stressed about that. But next, hopefully we can carry this on into the future, and this won't be the last opportunity that we have. And so the group that has come up with the winner based on the categories that we had 4 criteria that they were basing their decision on. And I didn't bring my notes, but the 4 criteria were innovation, maturity of the concept, maturity of the design, importance, that is this an important part of the green future, and the 4th, passion and energy for this idea. And so based on those criteria, and after much deliberation, it was a very difficult decision to be made, but I'll give the floor over to Mykhailo, and Mykhailo can tell us who the winner is.
Well, it was a difficult decision. All of the companies made excellent presentations. And we really came down to 3 that impressed us the most. And so there are, I guess, 2 runner-up companies that we'd like to say first, if that's okay. One of our runners-up was the Blue Flame Stroker company. So we're really impressed with that, so congratulations to that group. We thought your presentation about how you can replace coal, very, very sustainable, great idea. I had no idea so much coal was being burned in Manitoba. Our second runner-up, no weight to which runner-up, but the next runner-up, I should say, was Dollarwise. We thought Dollarwise's presentation, the personal connection to the whole cancer chemical issue, makes a very powerful sales pitch for that company. They're going to sell a lot of soap, I think. So congratulations to Dollarwise and to Shane Johnson. But the winner of this year's the winner of this Green Dragon's Lair prize, we felt had to go to Global Wind Group and Alex Stewart. So congratulations to Alex. Come on up and receive your prize. We thought your presentation and your passion for your idea and this whole idea about bringing a new green energy to our planet was a winning one. So congratulations. Thank you.
That's terrific. Thanks very much, Mykhailo. And just a word about the plaque that just walked away there. The plaque base is crafted from reclaimed pine and finished with Osmo hard wax oil by Wood Anchor, locally in Winnipeg. And the engraving by Innovative Laser Works is on a stainless steel plate with 60% recycled content. And we hope you display it proudly. To finish off, John Paul.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much for taking time out of your busy days to do this. We hope that we're inviting you back next year. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Do you have any comments?
I would just like to say that, we're all, we all thought it was great, and we thought all of the presenters were really great. And, we hope that folks, don't feel bad about not having one, because it really, it's not fair. We were impressed with all the presentations.
Yeah, it was a tough decision. And on behalf of Manitoba Environmental Industries Association and the Board of Directors, me and my staff and I would like to thank you all very much for attending today, and to use the language my friend Hank Venema uses, thank you for investing your intellectual venture capital in a day of thinking about the environmental sector future of our province. Thanks very much. See you.